One of the great art heists or maybe schemes to become a famous and fake celebrity that's come out over the years is put together in this beautiful graphic novel called The Woman with 50 Faces by Jonathan Lackman and Zachary Pinson. This is an amazing story that would make a great Netflix documentary, but I think looks even better as a comic book and a graphic novel. So I'm going to put this under the microscope today. Stay tuned and watch this video until the end. And we're back. My name is Taylor. This is Taylor Talks Comics. Thank you for joining me. Please give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I do want to say that I do a live show every Wednesday at noon Eastern where I talk about comic book news and just chat with you guys about comics, kind of let you guys guide the conversation a lot of times. It's a fun time. You can go over to my live tab on YouTube to check out previous live shows that I've done. They're all there for posterity. Posterity? Whatever. Anyways, this is The Woman with 50 Faces by Jonathan Lackman, Zachary J. Pinson, put out by Fantagraphics. Big shout out to Tucker Stone from Fantagraphics for sending me out this review copy. But this is such a fun, thrilling story. If you haven't heard about this, you're going to want to pay attention, because this is ripe for like an amazing Netflix documentary that would like get the internet a buzz. But the fact that it's done with the comic book medium, I think is perfect. I think it lends itself to the art throughout. But it just like, it's that style of like that thrilling documentary that everyone on the internet will be buzz about with their own theories and things. But real quickly, to show off the great book design here, here's the awesome spine, here's the back, and it carries a cover price of $29.99. The end sheets here, which I think are the same on front and back. Oh, there's a little insert sheet they sent me. Here's an opening page with some great painting. And this was designed by C. Huang, which I always like to shout out the book designers. Do a tremendous job over at Fantagraphics. And then here is the title page. And here is a little bit of an intro for you about what's happening and trying to bring you into the story a little bit. And then here's the amazing artwork all the way throughout. So what is this story about? Well, the main character here is Maria. And I'm just going to flip through as I talk about the premise. And Maria it's like the ultimate, like, we see this a lot too in today's age of like these fake celebrities or even not even fake celebrities, but people just become famous and you like question like, how did you become famous? You became famous for being famous. It's like the famous like Kardashian, I keep saying the word famous. The famous like Kardashian or Paris Hilton thing, like the becoming famous for being famous kind of thing, like this. It seems like a scheme or a con job, or like it's just like, how are people infatuated with this person? Like that was all what this story is about, but this was taking place in the 1920s, 1930s era, where Maria was a French, I think she's from France. I forget exactly, but she moves to Berlin and she starts telling people, she gets in touch with like the cultural elite at their parties and things, and starts telling them that she's this big time actress that starred in all these big famous movies over in France, and she's trying to make her way into the movie scene in Berlin. And they all buy into it. They all buy into that she's this amazing actor, that she's got the swag, she's got the clothes and everything. Everyone like falls for it. And you got to remember, this is back before the internet, back before Facebook existed. You couldn't Facebook stalk this person to clarify or look at IMDb to check her credits. So it's very easy, I think, to, as long as you had the panache and the charisma to pull this off. And she very much did. So she got all these cultural elites to like fall for this. And then she had this great ambitious idea that she wanted 50 of the biggest name painters of that time, of that era in Europe, to paint a portrait of her. And so they do. And she gets 50 people to do it. And she tells them that this is going to be a main plot device in one of her upcoming movies, and their paintings will be featured within it. Now, one of the cool parts about the book and what lends itself to the comic book medium is that all the painters kind of view her differently, almost to the point to where it's like the game of telephone, where you tell one person a story, then they tell another person the story, and then tell another person the story, and the story gets like filtered through all these different ideas and personalities and who people that might embellish things or leave parts out of the stories or exaggerate parts of the stories or whatever. And by the time you get to the last person, the story does not resemble what it was to begin with. Excuse me. And that's kind of a little bit how I view this painting idea, because the way they describe it is that every portrait was almost different. It's like nobody knows what Maria actually looked like in hindsight, because there weren't like photographs of her and things, and the only things that existed of what she looked like were these paintings. And it was paintings of 50 different people interpreting what her face looked like. And none of the artists could even agree what she looked like. So, which might have lended itself to why it's so easy for her to get away eventually. But I digress. So that was the idea, was she had 50 artists paint her. And they do a great job, too, in the comics to, like, always cover up her face so you don't know what she actually looks like. Like, you can see that on the cover, even. Just a cool little storytelling technique of the comics. But she would eventually, then, everybody assumed that she took all that art and fled to New York and sold it all, or whatever, and became rich off of this, this real art about this fake person in this fake movie. That was a story that was always told throughout the years, but then Jonathan Lackman and Zachary Pinson would then do all this research to figure out what the true story was, and they went through and found all these bits and stuff of the story that not a lot of people knew about. And there were art shows showing off this artwork in New York and London and all these things. Here's a great spread, by the way, showing off a lot of the paintings of what we know. So there's this great fold out throughout this book. This great, just amazing artwork. And the artwork is, like, throughout this book is great. It reminds me a lot of, like I see some, like, Robert Crumb in there. I see some, like, Joe Sacco. Just, like, really, really incredible stuff. But that was a story, and there were art shows showing off the paintings in, I think it's like Chicago, London, New York. But I guess the true story, perhaps, maybe, we don't know, was that Marie actually stayed in Berlin and helped groups of Jewish people evacuate Germany when the Panzers came rolling in before or leading up to World War II. And so she had this kind of like history as maybe a war hero. But again, all this is kind of like conjecture. We don't know for sure. But that kind of makes it amazing too. It's kind of like adds to the mystery of what the true story is. And it's told brilliantly throughout this graphic novel with this amazing artwork. And I can't recommend this enough. Like, it's thrilling, it's exciting, it has all these twists and turns, and it turns you on your head. And it's just this fun story that, honestly, sounds like the most interesting story you hear at a party when you meet someone. And then you want to go and research it yourself. But amazing work. So here's a little biography in the back about the authors and their artists and some acknowledgments throughout. But yeah, I can't recommend this enough. It's a really fun story. Don't let this go, beyond your radar. Pick this up or check it out from your local library. The Woman with 50 Faces. But thank you everyone for watching. Please comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up. Check out my live shows on Wednesdays at noon. And everyone, keep talking comics.